She was called the Ivory Queen of Soul, a voice so powerful, so soulful, that many swore it could only belong to a black woman. Teena Marie, known as Lady T, broke barriers and carved her name into music history. But behind the hits and the spotlight, her life carried a chilling shadow. Freak accidents, haunting premonitions, and seizures that tormented her final years left fans wondering, was she cursed? And when she was found dead at just 54, the mystery only deepened. Was it truly natural causes or something far more unsettling? Stay with us because the story of Teena Marie's final days is as gripping as her music, and the questions about her death remain unanswered. Mary Christine Brockert, later known to the world as Teena Marie, was born on March 5, 1956 in Santa Monica, California. She was the daughter of Thomas, a construction worker, and Mary Ann, a home renovator. Raised in Venice, California, she grew up surrounded by black culture. The sounds of Motown, the smooth sway of jazz, and the raw energy of funk became the soundtrack of her youth. Unlike many white children around her, Teena wasn't just listening to this music, she was living it. She idolized legends like Sarah Vaughan and Smokey Robinson, and in the neighborhood of Oakwood, known as Venice Harlem, she was embraced by the community. Though she faced harassment from some white kids who mocked her for being too close to black culture, she brushed it off, later saying she considered herself a black white girl at heart. To those who knew her, she belonged, always welcome at the proverbial cookout. Her talent showed early. At just 10 years old, she performed at comedian Jerry Lewis's wedding. She also appeared in small acting roles, including a spot on the Beverly Hillbillies. But music was always her calling. A self-taught pianist, guitarist, and drummer, she devoted herself to writing and performing. Her teenage years, however, weren't without turbulence. Some accounts suggest she briefly flirted with gang life in Venice, even earning nicknames like Casper the Friendly Ghost and Vanilla Child. But ultimately, music became her way out. By high school, she was fronting bands chasing her dream and studying English literature at Santa Monica College while auditioning for record labels. Her big break came in 1976, when she auditioned for a Motown film project. The movie was never made, but Berry Gordy, the legendary founder of the label, heard her voice. Gordy wasn't sure what to do with her. Motown was a black label with a black audience. Would fans embrace a white singer? Despite his doubts, he signed her. The contract, however, was harsh, paying her just $100 a week and giving her almost no control over her career. For years, Teena worked behind the scenes, recording and waiting for her chance. That chance came when Rick James, one of Motown's brightest stars, walked into a rehearsal and heard her sing. Stunned by her raw power, he took her under his wing, even shelving a project with Diana Ross to focus on her. Their collaboration led to her debut album, Wild and Peaceful. Released in 1979, Motown released the album without her photo, letting the music speak for itself. And it worked. Her breakout single, I'm a Sucker for Your Love, soared on the R&B charts. Fans assumed the voice belonged to a black woman until Teena shocked the world by stepping onto Soul Train. She became the first white artist to perform on the show, eventually appearing 8 times, more than any other white performer in its history. This moment was bigger than music. It was cultural. Teena's fearless presence on Soul Train showed that artistry and soul had no color boundaries. While some questioned whether audiences would embrace her, the overwhelming response proved her talent was undeniable. Her voice, raw and filled with emotion, connected deeply with fans who didn't care about appearances. By breaking barriers, she not only launched a remarkable career, but also carved a place in history as a true pioneer who bridged worlds through music. Her partnership with Rick James was legendary. They inspired each other musically, recording unforgettable songs like Fire and Desire. Their romance, however, was turbulent, fueled by Rick's drug abuse, infidelity, and chaos. For years, Teena stood by him, even helping to raise children he had neglected. She became godmother to Minnie Riperton's daughter, Maya Rudolph, and Marvin Gaye's daughter, Nona Gaye, showing her generosity and maternal nature. But eventually, she cut romantic ties with Rick, though their creative bond endured until his death in 2004. By the early 1980s, Teena Marie's career was unstoppable. Albums like Lady T, Irons in the Fire, and It Must Be Magic cemented her reputation. Songs such as Square Biz and Portuguese Love became classics. But behind her success, Motown continued to exploit her. Despite selling millions, she was still earning little more than her original weekly pay. Worse, the label blocked her creative choices and refused to let her leave. Teena Marie wasn't about to be silenced. She took Motown to court in a battle that resulted in the historic Brockert Initiative, a ruling that made it illegal for record companies to hold artists under contract without releasing their music. The law would later help artists like Luther Vandross, and it even foreshadowed Prince's battle with Warner Brothers. Though she hadn't set out to change the industry, she did. Free from Motown, she signed with Epic Records, where her 1984 album Star Child delivered her biggest pop hit, Lover Girl, reaching number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100. Through the late 1980s and 1990s, Teena experimented musically, dabbling in rock with Emerald City and returning to her soulful roots with Naked to the World, which featured the number 1 R&B hit Ooh La La La. Her personal life was equally demanding. She cared for friends' children, looked after Rick James's son, and in 1991 gave birth to her only daughter, Aaliyah Rose, with Peter Butcher. By the mid-1990s, her commercial success had slowed. She released independent projects and focused on family. But in 2004, she surprised everyone by signing with Cash Money Records. Her album, La Doña, debuted at number 6 on the Billboard 200, her highest charting release ever. Behind the stage lights, though, her life grew darker. In 2004, while staying at a hotel, a massive picture frame fell on her head while she slept. The concussion left her with seizures that plagued her for the rest of her life. Not long after, a refrigerator in the same hotel inexplicably toppled toward her, nearly crushing her. To Teena, it felt like something unseen was trying to bury her alive. From that point onward, seizures became a constant part of Teena Marie's existence. What started as a freak accident in a hotel room turned into a battle that would follow her for the rest of her life. At the 2008 Essence Festival, she collapsed on stage in front of shocked fans, a dramatic reminder of her fragile health. Behind the scenes, the grief of losing Rick James in 2004 pushed her further toward prescription painkillers like Vicodin, offering temporary relief but creating new struggles. Despite her pain, Teena turned once more to music. In 2009, she released her final album, Congo Square. The project carried a deeply spiritual tone, unlike anything she had recorded before. She claimed to draw on the energy of departed legends like Louis Armstrong, Curtis Mayfield, and Minnie Riperton, channeling their presence into her songs. It was also her 13th album, a number long tied to mystery, transformation, and even death. Teena said she wished Congo Square could be the address in the afterlife where all musicians gather. To many, her words sounded like an unintentional farewell. In November 2010, just weeks before her death, Teena suffered a massive grand mal seizure. Nights became so frightening that she could not bear to sleep alone. Her daughter, Aaliyah Rose, often stayed beside her, making sure her mother survived until morning. On Christmas Day 2010, Teena celebrated Aaliyah's 19th birthday with family. Though she admitted she wasn't feeling well, the following morning, December 26th, she was found unresponsive in her Pasadena home. She was only 54. The Los Angeles County coroner ruled her death natural causes. No trauma, no illegal drugs, and no clear explanation. Some believe complications from seizures played a role. Others point to years of pain and dependency. And some wonder if her final album's spiritual energy brought her closer to forces we can't explain. On January 10, 2011, a memorial at Forest Lawn Cemetery drew legends including Stevie Wonder, Smokey Robinson, Queen Latifah, and Berry Gordy. Their presence confirmed the lasting respect she earned as the Ivory Queen of Soul. At the time of her death, her net worth was estimated around $3 million, not huge compared to her influence, but her wealth was never about numbers. It was about impact. She broke barriers as a white woman embraced in soul and funk. She fought and won a legal battle that protected countless artists. And she left behind a catalog of music that continues to inspire and be sampled today. Her Pasadena home, once filled with the sound of her piano and her laughter, now stands silent. To some, it feels haunted, not by ghosts, but by memory, by the weight of a life that burned brightly and ended too soon. So what do you think? Was Teena Marie's passing simply fate, or something more mysterious? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this journey into the life and legacy of the Ivory Queen of Soul, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more untold stories. Thanks for watching.